Welcome to Core Cutting This Week, episode number 83, the show where I give you a quick look at some of the biggest stories happening in the world of core cutting from the past week and give you my thoughts on them. If you want to learn more about these stories, in the show notes down below I'll put a link to each story. You can read about them for yourself and let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions on them. If you're new here, hey, we do this every week and we have a daily core cutting today version of this, which is for the past 24 hours. So hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, it really does help us. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything, because we got reviews, tips, how-tos, even weekly core cutting Q&As to help you break free from the high cost of cable TV. Well, before we get into it, funny little thing that happened today. This is the last time, I guess, that this could ever happen, but the core cutting this week and the core cutting today both have the same episode number. We've done 83 core cutting todays and we've done 83 core cutting this weeks. It's hard to believe it's been 83 weeks. Core cutting today is going to keep running out in front because we do that a lot more often now. But we're going to continue to do these weekly core cutting recaps. We're going to dive a little bit more though into my thoughts on them and try to use the weekly recap to answer your questions. So throughout the week, if there's a story you have a question about, leave us a comment down below. The videos, I do read them. I've been trying to reply to more of them. And I'm going to try to also go in this weekly recap and answer your questions, address many things that seems to have confused people, to try to recap the whole week with that in it. So hang in here. We're still going to be doing the dailies. We're still going to do the weeklies. But I'm thinking that this will turn a little bit more into the answering your questions along with my opinions on the stories. As what better time to do that than with episode 83 of Core Cutting This Week and episode 83 of Core Cutting Today, both being on the same day. So let's dive into it. Well, and one more thing I wanted to really cover real quick. The presidential debates happened yesterday now, or 2 days ago. I'm recording this the night before. And I had a lot of people saying, why are you covering this? This shouldn't be a political website. We don't want this to be a political website, but we are going to give people guides on how to watch major events happening. For the previous administration and the current administration, we've done stuff like how to watch the State of the Union address and more. We did in the previous election how to watch the Republican and Democratic debates. We're going to do that again now. I do understand the Republicans aren't having debates, so the Democratic ones, but we will do the Republican convention and the Democratic convention. This is not an endorsement in any way on any political party. This is us as a news organization trying to be neutral and just say, hey, I don't care which political affiliation you may have. If you want to cut the cord, we're going to help you. I don't care about your race, sex, religion, whatever, you name it, we don't care. We're just here to help you learn about core cutting. So just keep that in mind. I understand it's a very hot and heated discussion right now in the world of politics. People are very unhappy if you cover a party they don't like. I understand that. So I hope you understand our position as a news organization to cover the news. Well, that's it. Let's get into the news. All right, Amazon Prime Day is coming up and a lot of deals are happening. So a couple quick rapid fire deals happening in the world of core cutting right now. Amazon has a 43-inch HD Fire TV Edition Smart TV for Toshiba for $173. A great deal on a cheap HD TV. But if you want 4K HDR, Sharp has a special deal with Best Buy right now, both in stores and online. Check online availability before you drive to the store. Don't email me like, hey, I drove an hour and it wasn't in stock. Check online availability, because you can buy it online too. But they have a 43 4K HDR Sharp TV, an entry-level one, for $219.99. That's a really good deal on a 4K HDR TV in that price range. But if you want something a little bit better and a little bit bigger, TCL has a 55-inch 4K HDR 5 Series. I know there's a cheaper 55-inch 4 Series, but the 5 Series is way more powerful. Available right now, $300 off on Amazon, just $399, typically $699. This is a really good deal on a really good TV. It's their upper middle of the road kind of TV, not quite as good as the 6 Series, but pretty darn close to it. It's the TV that is actually right behind me. This is a 5 Series, but a smaller version of it. So check those deals out. I'll put links to them in the show notes. These are all pre-Amazon Prime Day sales. We'll be posting more of these sales as we learn more. All right, jumping into the stories and trying to address many of your questions. We talked earlier this week about antennas and why you're going to need to be rescanning. A lot of people had a lot of questions of what does this really mean. So the FCC a few years ago, previous administration, actually quite a few years ago now, went and allowed TV stations to sell their bandwidth. They had to agree to move to a new station. They were trying to free up a particular set of bandwidth that could be used for 5G. Stations that fell into this bandwidth range had the option to sell their signal and move to a new one. Many of them did, and now it's time. It's been time for a little while, but now it's really picking up pace that these TV stations do that move. T-Mobile bought a lot of this. They're actually trying to bribe TV stations by paying them to move quicker so they can get that spectrum quicker. But the good news is it's very easy when this happens. So you'll probably start seeing TV ads when this happens. And the good news is you can also go online. We have a link in the show notes down below to our website where you can enter your zip code and find out when TV stations in your area will be moving. Over the next year, many of the ones who haven't moved will be moving. I have some in my local market that'll be moving. At that time, all you need to do is rescan. It's very simple. You rescan, and then you'll be able to access those stations again. For most people, this shouldn't change anything. It may mean a slight change in your reception, but that's highly unlikely. It's more likely that everything you get now, you'll get again. Just channel 44, maybe channel 18 or something now, for example. So I hope that answers your question. Really nothing to worry about here. Very straightforward channel change. NBC's merging their apps. A lot of people had a question, what does this really mean? So NBC this week merged a bunch of their apps into a single app out there that allowed you to have Oxygen and Sci-Fi and all this in a single place. Now, this has not rolled out to all devices yet, and some of the old network apps are still around, but they're going to start grandfathering those, shutting them down, and moving them over. So now you basically have two NBC apps where you used to have 10 or 12. You have an NBC Sports app with their sports stuff, and an NBC app with all the other stuff in it for the NBC Universal. Again, nothing is lost. Everything that was available in the other apps is available in this. A lot of people asked, are we losing things? Honestly, I found it a little bit easier because all the free content from all those different apps is now in one NBC app. I'd love to know, if you tested out the new NBC app, what do you think of it? Leave us a comment, let me know. I hope that helps. Something I didn't really talk about this week is Philo has finally come to Android phones and Amazon Fire tablets. Philo, since launch, has been saying we're coming to Android. Now it's there. So now there is a Philo app for Android phones and tablets, along with the Amazon Fire tablets, which is a forked version of Android. Doesn't matter. This is a great option. A lot of people have said, Luke, should we try this now that it's on Android? My response to that is, if it offers the channels you want, give it a try. I'd love to know, though, from you, have you used the Android app? Are you a Philo subscriber? What do you think of it? Leave us a comment. Let us know. I'll love to hear from you, as I really want to know, do you enjoy Philo? Do you not enjoy Philo? What do you like about it? Leave us a comment. But the good news is you can now access it on Android devices, and you're all set. Last story of the day, and the big one I really wanted to address, and I'm hoping the fact that I'm recording this the night before, fingers crossed nothing's going to change, but if it does, I'll be posting an update in the show notes down below, and on the comments, and over at corecarsnews.com. But Sony is still warning of a blackout of AMC, Discovery, NBC, and Turner. At this time, within the last 24 hours of recording this, Sony updated the page with other details, but they left the warning about these networks possibly facing blackout at the end of the month. Which means they have a little over 24 hours right now, 36 hours maybe, roughly from the time I post this, that to strike a new deal, or this is they're going to go dark. Now, again, I don't think they're all going to go dark. I wouldn't be surprised though if a few did, as negotiations dragged out. We have reached out to all the networks involved and Sony, and either received a no comment or basically just pointing it to that post on Sony's website saying that's the current situation. So as of this moment, we have no comments on this, which makes you wonder, is there a deal, is there not a deal? If there was a deal, you think Sony would have updated their website, since they've updated that page repeatedly but left the warnings about that? Next month, NFL Network also is coming up for renewal. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. As an outsider looking in, It's very interesting to see Sony run around and try to add a bunch of channels to PlayStation View, move channels like the tennis channel down to a lower package, and see what happens. Now, that sounds like they're expecting at least some of these networks to go dark, and they're trying to find filler in it. We'll see. There is word that there'll be some type of press announcement coming from Sony on the 1st. That's rumors right now from inside the industry I've been hearing. But I'm very interested in the lack of announcements from the partners. Does that mean the partners are very confident? Does that mean Turner, NBC, and all the rest are very confident that there's going to be a deal? These things often go down to the wire for some reason. Seems like these companies cannot seem to ever negotiate without having to come down again at the last second and have a discussion. So we'll wait and see. But as of today, we have about 36 more hours. We will be working this weekend. Core Cars News will be watching this very closely. If there is more breaking news on this, we'll be posting about it over at corecarsnews.com. And of course, I'll be here on Monday with our Core Kind today to talk about it. But for everybody asking, if you're a PlayStation View customer, I wouldn't worry about it. If it happens, it happens. The great thing about PlayStation View, no contract. If they drop the networks you want, go to a different service that offers the networks you want. We'll have to see. This will be a moment for Sony to say we're either committed to PlayStation View or we're not committed to PlayStation View. We'll know how committed they are here early next week for sure. So I hope that answers your questions. I'd love to know, what do you think about PlayStation View? How likely do you think it is that they will drop these networks? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment. And I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. So I know the 4th of July is next week. And I know for us Southerners, we're like, hey, summer's been going on forever. But for a lot of people in northern states, you know, summer vacation for schools don't start until sometimes mid-June. So I know a lot of you are just getting ready for your first major vacations. Typically kind of a slow time, but we'll be here every day next week except for the 4th. I'll be working the 4th, but I won't be posting videos. And if I don't see you next week, I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July holiday. I hope you have a safe one. Be safe out there with those fireworks. And have a great week. Everybody outside the United States who 4th of July isn't anything, don't worry. I'll be here pretty much all next week giving you Core Kind news, tips, tricks, and reviews, except for on the 4th. So take care, everybody. I'll see you next Monday, hopefully, or when you get back from your vacation. Take care, everyone.